Hello there. A recent report highlights how much the defence of the European Union is reliant on the contributions of the United Kingdom. According to a report from the Henry Jackson Society, European mainland countries that are members of the EU and of NATO have shortchanged both the defence alliance and their own security. According to the think tank, they have underfunded defence to the tune of $96 billion in 2016 alone, and by $451 billion in the 5 years of 2012 to 2016. The report goes on to point out that these countries are failing to meet their commitment to spend 2% of their GDP on defence. Germany underspent by $142 billion, falling short of its NATO spending target by 39%. Italy has shortchanged European security by almost $90 billion, or 43%. Spain has shortchanged European security by $75 billion, which means it has failed to meet NATO's target by a massive 54%. France has underspent by $24 billion, meaning it has missed the alliance's spending target by 9%. This, says the Henry Jackson Society, contrasts with the UK, which has consistently met its commitments. As a result, Britain has effectively subsidised the security and defence of the European mainland by an extra $23.9 billion from 2012 to 2016, said the Society. Author of the report, James Rogers, director of the Global Britain programme at the Henry Jackson Society, said, "In recent months, the United Kingdom has been disparaged by many Europeans for its decision to leave the EU. Some have gone so far as to construct it as a kind of pariah state. However, as this policy briefing shows, this depiction is entirely unwarranted. Britain remains deeply committed to the security of Europe as the largest European military and foreign aid spender. Moreover, most European countries, insofar as they have shortchanged both NATO and the world's poorest people by hundreds of billions of dollars over the past 5 years, have their own shortcomings which should not be overlooked. UK forces have always been at the forefront, so it is nice to hear that UK Armed Forces veterans are to be recognised from next year with ID cards in the form of a special driving licence design that acknowledge the work of our service people in the same way that veterans are appreciated in the USA. But none of this should be used as an excuse to quietly place our armed forces within the EU PESCO regime. It would be unforgivable for the UK to insist that the EU and UK citizens living in each other's states should not be used as pawns in the Brexit game, while potentially committing the lives of our service people to defend the EU in a tawdry attempt to get defence on the cheap, which is what many, like Veterans for Britain, believe is happening. Moving on. Yesterday, the ONS reported a very slight uptick in the annual rate of inflation to 3.1%, which was generally in line with expectations, and the pundits were saying that it would peak at about this level and then subside during the course of 2018. However, we now hear that there is a bit of an energy crisis going on due to North Sea pipeline problems and the catastrophic explosion at the Baumgarten gas hub in Denmark, which left one sadly dead and 18 others injured. Motorists and householders have been told to expect fuel price hikes in the very near future, possibly as early as Christmas. This will obviously feed into the next sets of inflation figures, and as so much of our economy relies on road transport, this may in time feed through across the board. Look out for those sneaky Remainers trying to pin the blame for any inflation rise on Brexit and not on the fragility of our national energy security where the blame belongs. In other news, the President of the EU Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, is facing accusations that his officials presented inaccurate information under oath in a case involving an alleged illegal wiretap more than 10 years ago when he was Prime Minister of Luxembourg. Last Monday, Eric Charmeau, an investigating judge, began an inquiry into whether officials working for Mr Juncker falsified key evidence for a parliamentary and then judicial investigation in 2012 and 2013, reports The Times. With all the worries over the rights of EU citizens remaining in the UK after Brexit Day, it is reassuring to hear Home Office Minister Brandon Lewis say that when the new system starts, there will be a presumption in favour of approving applications and that there will be a very short questionnaire to fill in with an expected turnaround of about 2 weeks. Now, after the manic rush to get to the next stage in the Brexit talks, it transpires that the EU now says we will all have to wait until March to see its negotiating guidelines. So more drift to possibly try and force the UK hand, it seems. And the FT reports that, contrary to the claim that the banks would all shut up shop, leave the city and head into the EU, only about 4,600 jobs actually look set to be moved. But back to the question of the UK contributions to EU defence. What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video. And also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.